Why, hello there! I'm Perpetually Red, and this is gonna be just a sit down, talk a little bit about what books I've read, how my Inktober challenge is going for October, and that sort of thing. I want to do weekly vlogs, but I somehow keep missing the mark on those. But it's Wednesday, and I really want to have a video this week, so we're just gonna talk a little bit about what I've been up to, I guess. So I finished Dracula. It's excited because it was really just like a cloud over my head where I was really enjoying it all the way through, but also was struggling to like just sit down and read it. But I did. I got it done. And yes, I really enjoyed this. This is the story of Jonathan Harker and his fiancée, Mina Murray. It's also the story of her friend Lucy and her fiancé, Arthur. We have his two friends, Mr. Morris and Dr. Seward. And then once the Dracula nonsense comes to England, because of course it starts in Transylvania, then we get Van Helsing showing up. So throughout this entire thing, the women were like the strongest characters in this, like the strongest human beings. I feel like Bram Stoker had to know that. Oh yes, and this background it just is what it is. Hopefully nothing embarrassing is back there. I don't think so. But it's looking, microwave, it's looking over into my kitchen. But that's where my books are living right now. So I'm still working on it. Anyway, back to the book. We have so much found family in this. Like, I was very surprised with that. Because I would have thought of, say, 1897, like it would have all been bloodlines and family, but really it was a bunch of people that were sort of alone meeting other people who were sort of alone and coming to love them in familial ways. So I enjoyed that. I always like a found family. That's one of my favorite things to read about. But yeah, so the real horror of it, some of it's through the irony, through the situational irony, and just the first bit of Jonathan Harker's journals where he's trapped in Dracula's castle. That was pretty great. I enjoyed, it was very early on, so it's not really a spoiler, but very early on, he's like, I think Count Dracula is trapping me. But I'm not going to ask him about it because then Dracula will know that I know. I was like, this is what we need in all horror books. There's that knowledge. So anyway, so that was fun. I enjoyed that. I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy these characters as soon as he said that in his journal, which he was writing his journal in shorthand so that Dracula couldn't read it. And I was like, ooh, so smart. Okay. Yes, so I enjoyed this. It got a little bumpy 3/4 or so the way through because they stopped, the men in this book stopped listening to the women again, and I'm like, oh, didn't you learn anything? The men never learned anything. So if you want the men to grow to see women as smart as them, well, you're probably not going to get that with this book, but they were. The women, Mina especially, was as smart as them, smarter in some cases. Yeah, if it wasn't for her, Dracula, it wouldn't go down the way that it went down. So, so it would have been a much shorter book if they had listened to Mina earlier. I'll just say that. But yeah, okay, so that's enough about this one, but yeah, I gave it 5 stars for sure. It has nothing to do with it, but it does bring me hope that I will super enjoy Frankenstein as well. I have no clue, like, if it's the same written in the same time period or anything. I know nothing. I'll learn as I go. I also finished Kiki's Delivery Service. This one is a children's book. It was, let's see when it was written. People may know it by the Studio Ghibli. Oh, 1985. That was the year I was born. So now you know my age. But so yeah, this was the inspiration for the Ghibli film Kiki's Delivery Service. This is by Iko Kadono. Iko Kadono. And this is about a 13-year-old girl who is a witch. Her mother's a witch. She's taught her how to fly. That's the last thing that witches are able to do in this world. And when you turn 13 as a witch, you go and you find a new town to belong to. So this is a year in, this book is a year in Kiki's life as she finds a new home. And it's not so much as like it is a continuous story, but each chapter is kind of like, it would make a good bedtime story to read each chapter, because each one is kind of a contained episode in this town where Kiki meets a new citizen and just makes their life a little better as it goes on, and makes Kiki's life a little better. So yeah, it's cute. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but it was a nice little tale. Yeah, and Gigi is a talking cat. Well, talks to Kiki. She's the only one who can understand him. And that was a fun little, she wasn't alone because she had Gigi, and so that was a fun little interaction. And she found the place to belong, and throughout. So that was a nice tale. Whew, I almost dropped it on the floor. Okay, so as far as how the challenge is going, there are quite a few books that I have decided not to read in the challenge. Let's go through. I've already read City of Orange, so that was good. I read this back in August. I enjoyed it. I've read The Drawing of the Three probably a decade ago or more. I enjoyed it. I may do a reread at some point, because I think the third book is, I don't even remember the third book's name, but the third book is as far as I went with that series before. So I may reread Gunslinger, Drawing of the Three, and actually finish that series at some point. Demon Slayer, I am definitely going to reread this at some point, but I just read it back in August, or no, not August, June or so. I read all 23 of this manga. Oh, it's so good. If you're interested in manga at all, I would say this is, I don't know if it's the best one to start with. You should probably start with one that's more in a contemporary setting, just to kind of get the feel of what Japanese manga is like, and to start learning some of the terminology, which they always have. I assume this one does, I don't know. They usually have a little bit in the author's note. Not this one, which is why I say maybe a contemporary would be best for a beginner. But yeah, I mean, this one is amazing. It's got an anime to go with it. So that's another way you could start, is to watch some of the anime and then get into reading it. So, but yeah, I approve of this one, Demon Slayer. This was Tank Girl, World War Tank Girl, which wasn't even the one that the one that I made the bookmark for, which was Armadillo. So I'm not going to read that. This one, I read maybe the first 3 pages and decided it wasn't for me. She started describing her mother and then comparing herself to her mother's beauty. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not in for someone looking down on herself this quickly. She's had like she lives on the moon with her mother, and she's had 2 people to compare herself to. And I'm just like, I don't know, if you only have 2 people to compare yourself to, how you're gonna know what is beauty. So I don't know. I may read some reviews or something about this, and because I know what's her name, Kayla from Books and Lala, she loved this book a lot. We don't always agree on on books. You know, I don't know her personally. I just watch her videos and enjoy them. But we don't always agree on books. But I really did not give this one a chance, but I'm not feeling it right now. So I'm like, instead of forcing myself to read it, I'm just going to set it aside and, well, take it back to the library and let someone else get it who wants it. I feel like that's more important than me struggling to read it. So that's another one that I am, getting rid of, passing on. So as for what I have left, oh, I just realized I have most of them on the table over there. But I do plan on, like I've said earlier, reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Which I need to start this soon, because I know with classics, I struggle. It can be the easiest thing to read, but I just get in my head about it, like, this is a classic, so it's going to be hard. But really, Dracula wasn't that hard. The hardest parts of it were like Van Helsing, because he was Dutch, and the way that it was written was, I feel like, purposely a little more complicated, and he used idioms and such that I don't know. I think that was the problem that I was having. It's not a problem. It's just for my understanding. Anyway, so Frankenstein, that's coming up, and Haikyuu is coming up. Yeah. And I also, I've super enjoyed the anime, the episodes that I've watched of this. This is another one that's very popular and in the anime and manga world. So yeah, this is a volleyball team in high school, and it's mostly slice of life. This would definitely be one you could start with if you wanted to get into manga. I haven't read it yet, but I know I've seen the anime, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. And this would teach you a little bit about the contemporary life of a high schooler, which Demon Slayer is like in the fantasy, historical fiction kind of situation with demons. So just comparing the two, like where how easy it would be to understand if you just jump into it. This one would be a lot easier to understand because it's just high schoolers playing volleyball and getting into fights with each other and making up and trying to be the best at volleyball. So I will read that. As far as some of the other ones that I can remember, I have The Martian that I plan on reading. I enjoyed the movie. Again, I chose a lot of books. I chose a lot of books that were based on movies that I enjoyed. No, other way around. The books are what the movies are based on, and I have seen or heard of the movies or TV shows. Let's see. I have the second Witcher book, which I'm not planning on reading that one. Oh, I have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I may read that one. I'm pretty sure I've read that one before, but maybe not. That should be fun. I have a Captain Underpants little comic book that I plan on reading because I enjoyed the earliest Captain Underpants. I haven't read them in a while, but I remember my little brother got them and I read them and enjoyed them. So Captain Underpants is a lot of potty humor and just two little boys drawing out a comic is what the premise is. And their principal, I think it is, turns into Captain Underpants when he's splashed with water, something like that. And he doesn't remember what's happening, so it's fun, but low humor, you know. Yeah, so I want to insert a clip of all my bookmarks up to this point. I know I put the first 7 in a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and so now I have 14 more I can show you. Should be by the point when I upload this video, I should have 14. So we'll do that now. Okay, I had to jump back on. I guess this will be right after the bookmarks, but anyway, drink review. I guess I'm gonna do maybe a little weekly drink review within my book reviews, but so I have a few, and I guess I'll just drink them along and along. This is the first time I've tried Pepsi Mango. It says it's Pepsi with a splash of mango juice and other natural flavors. So let's see how it goes. I just really love new beverages, so I thought this might be fun. I definitely smell some mango. Don't smell a whole lot of Pepsi right now. It's pretty good. I was going to try to compare it to cherry Pepsi, but really it's not anything like it. My battery just died on my light, but seems well enough without it. So I'll go ahead and finish this little clip. It contains 1% juice, which I don't think cherry Pepsi contains any juice. And of course it could go without saying, but I am not sponsored by Pepsi. I like it. I give it a thumbs up. I would say I like regular Pepsi better, but this, I like it even better than cherry Pepsi. So, wild cherry Pepsi, whatever Pepsi is called. Anyway, this has been Drink Break with Perpetually Red. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ones that I super enjoyed. I really loved this one. Yeah, I got it right way up. The Drawing of the Three. I super enjoyed that one, which, you know, it's nice when you actually like your art. A lot of times I don't. I am pretty happy with how this one turned out. I did not know that I could draw willow trees and have them even partially look like willow trees, so that was a nice surprise. I can't look at this one without laughing. I'm pretty sure this book doesn't even have any armadillos in it, but just the idea of an armadillo and roller skates just gets me, I guess. I thought this one came out pretty cute. I wanted to do Baba Yaga's house, but I wanted it to fit in a horizontal space, so I made it do a sit. And this was another one that I went straight from how the cover on the actual book looked, and I super enjoyed all the little lines. That's how the original was, and I really like how that came out, so yay. And then there'll be, I don't know, 2 or 3 more that I haven't done yet at the point when I'm recording this, but maybe there'll be some more favorites of mine. So if you would, in the comments, tell me which one was your favorite. That would be fun. If you have a favorite, if you know anyone watches this, that'll be great. But yeah, it's been a fun activity during the month. You can also, on my Instagram, Foxadilo, because I also have a arts and crafts YouTube channel named Foxadilo. You can also check out me making any of those bookmarks. I have videos of that. Yeah, so I guess I will call it here. I hope you enjoyed my little sit down chat and my little flip through of the bookmarks that I've inked for Inktober. And I hope your October is nice and cozy and spooky as you want it to be. Yeah. So if you liked it, give me a thumbs up and, you know, comment. I would love to talk. If you have any words of encouragement for any of the books that I said I wasn't going to read this month, you know, I'd love to read them. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!